Hey guys, welcome back to the Giovanni Show. Today it is me and my lovely co-host once again, Connor Miles. Today I would like to give you guys a proposal of going to SeatGeek.com and getting yourself some tickets for this season and using code Gio the Podcaster to get $20 off your order. Who doesn't love saving money? And if you love supporting the show, then go do that. Let's start off this podcast hot and let's go straight into our game of the week. I know mine, I think we have the same one, but this game was so crazy, just the play calling and everything like that. This Bengals versus Chiefs game was so crazy. Um, I know my favorite part of the game was just seeing that play call from Andy Reid in the red zone, seeing Patrick Mahomes lob it over the O line and get it to the big fella. That was crazy. And then obviously the ending with the PI and everything like that, getting them in a field goal position. It was crazy.
It was
But I
pass
love,
interference, by the way. It was.
yep, I agree. I agree.
If y'all are gonna sit here and say James Bradbury held Juju Smith-Schuster in that Super Bowl, then you're gonna have to accept the fact that that was PI. But
Yep.
now you're not even talking about the. I'm not gonna lie, the best play of that game didn't even come from the Chiefs. It came from the Bengals. Cameron Taylor Britt with that interception was like an Odell Beckham type one-handed catch interception, and he backed up his trash talk. He said all week he was like Xavier Worthy's just speed. He covered him like a blanket. He really
Yeah.
did, and that interception was just insane. The Bengals are a good team. They really, there's a lot of 0 and 2s right now that aren't really 0 and 2s in my mind. When it comes to those teams, I really think the Bengals and the Ravens are just going to be way better than what the records say as the season goes further. Because that Ravens and Raiders game was also very exciting as well. But don't fear, Bengals fans. Once you get T. Higgins back, Joe Burrow gets in a rhythm from this last year injury he had, they'll be fine. That team
Yeah.
looks like it's ready to go.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree. Coming off of a rough training camp too. I know we talked about that last week. Um, but yeah, I think they just need to find their rhythm, find their groove. Another team that needs to find their rhythm and find their groove is the Philadelphia Eagles. This team last week was nothing short of an abomination. Um,
Embarrassment, an embarrassment.
this was the game that, even after an Eagles loss, I usually, wake up the next day and I'm like, it's all right, shrug it off, put on an Eagles jersey, go ahead, get ready for the day. I couldn't even do it. I couldn't do it.
Wonder why you couldn't do it? I'm just gonna say what if you're not thinking this already and you're a wildly optimistic fan, good for you. Definitely not gonna hate on that outlook. It is our duty as fans to be the most optimistic and positive we could possibly be and support our team moving forward. I understand that. But when the team is losing a game like that, the way that they lost games last year, all you did was change your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to think that these guys are really playing for Nick Sirianni right now. The effort's just not there. I mean, the fact that the defense should have been in the position to do this anyways, but the defense let the Falcons offense on that final scoring drive just walk down the field. There was no resistance whatsoever. I don't think the play call to throw it to Saquon was a bad idea per se, because if it works, it works, and we're not even having this conversation. But it's the fact that he didn't go for it on the fourth down after the fact. You get the field
Yeah.
goal. Going up by 6 does nothing for you. Absolutely nothing for you. It would have made sense if you gone for the field goal there at that point in time if you went for the field goal earlier in the game, because then it puts you up 9 and there's no way the Falcons can win. Nick Sirianni has a very high winning percentage. He's done great things with the Eagles as a head coach, but I'm gonna need to see a lot more this year from them because it just doesn't look like these guys are buying in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And I was watching Good Money Football and I completely agree with Kyle Brandt's take on everyone needs to be quiet about the play calling. In that one sequence where we threw it to Saquon. He should have made that he should have made that catch. He should have made that catch. He made every catch leading up to that. So I 100%, 110% agree with him. But having no pass rush on the most immobile quarterback in the league hurts. And as a fan, it hurts. And that's another reason why I couldn't wake up the next day and put on an Eagles jersey and just be okay with the fact that we lost because it hurts. And this team has so much talent and so much potential. And instead of using that, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing all week in practice to let, I know me and you have talked about this, a tight end block you the way that we got blocked. It just, like I said, it hurts. And that's the only way I can describe it is just that we're paying these guys so much money to do absolutely nothing. And for me, if I'm Vic Fangio, I'm Nick Sirianni, I'm this entire coaching staff, if I don't see a difference this week in the pass rushing, then there's not going to be a difference throughout the season.
Well, force Howie's hand to trade for somebody, and I don't think been there, done that. This happened with Robert Quinn when we traded for him mid-season, thinking this is going to be the answer to our problems. He's going to be the rotational pass rusher to help solve our issues, and it wasn't. It's really hard to ask a guy to come into a team halfway through the year, pick up our playbook, and get up to speed real quick. That's not an easy task. So I think Howie Roseman and company underestimated the impact Hassan Reddick had on this defense. Yes, he didn't get any sacks during the end of the stretch when the defense is falling apart, but are we going to blame one guy for that? Or are we going to blame the whole defense? I mean, they went through two defensive coordinators last year during the season. That whole defense fell apart. It wasn't just a Hassan Reddick that fell apart. So I don't think no teams really are scared of the Eagles edge rushers right now. Josh, what's your best edge rusher? He's getting pressures. He's just not finishing. Jalen Carter had a tough game against Chris Lindstrom, one of the best guards in the NFL, and that's a guy you're heavily relying on to disrupt the game. But the Packers double teamed him. Chris Lindstrom's a really great player. The Saints have a really solid O line. They're probably gonna, you know, give him trouble again. So I did a little deep dive into Bryce Huff a little bit more. Watched one of these film guys break down his season with the Jets last year. And the film guy pointed out that 7.5 of his sacks of his 10 sacks last year was against backup offensive linemen, like guys that were filling in for. And I don't know if you remember this when the Eagles played the Jets, Bryce Huff beat Jack Driscoll like a drum. And that was our backup. I don't want to give up. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't want to give up, but what the early returns on Bryce Huff have been horrible. He does not look like the player that they signed that contract to. I think Howie
Yeah.
Roseman kind of botched the Hassan Reddick situation. I know you can't pay everyone, but I mean, given what Hassan Reddick is going through right now, I think a simple pay bump would have just been fine. Don't have to give him a new contract, but say, hey, I'll give you more money. Because what you want is more money. Could have played out his last year with his deal here, and we would have had that threat. Because he was a closer. Like he was their closer. He was the guy that ended games for you. That they could have used that against the Falcons. They could have used a closer, a guy that you knew was going to get after Kirk Cousins and end the game with pressure on him. Because if Kirk Cousins would have been pressured, he would have threw picks. That's what he's done all his career. He's very prone to throw interceptions when pressure is getting to him, but he had 4 seconds to throw in that pocket, almost the entirety of that game. So they just don't have a guy. They have Josh Sweat, who isn't the guy, but can be a guy, but they don't have the guy. And they traded that guy to the Jets because they didn't want
Yeah.
to pay him. And then they paid the Jets guy who just looks. I mean, like you said, he got blocked by Kyle Pitts. He got blocked by their blocking tight end. He fell over during one of his pass rush reps, which looked like he was back in Brazil again. Hate to be doom and gloom, but pass rush won't get better until you stop the run either. And this team can't stop the run whatsoever. So that's why I wasn't crazy about the Vic Fangio hire. I'm not gonna say that it was a bad hire 2 games into it. That's silly to get that to say that this soon into the season, but I just don't know if that system is adapted to what the league has become. Especially because I don't know if you noticed this, Gio, the passing numbers this to start the season off have been way down. This league is running the ball a lot more this year, and this is an ever-changing league. So this might just be the new era of football where we're going to lean on the run, especially with. And I think Howie Roseman was ahead of the curve on that. That's why he went out and got a Saquon Barkley instead of settling for the running backs he's used to settle for. It's becoming a running league, and if you can't stop the run, you can't generate a pass rush. If you can't generate a pass rush, you're not going to win football games. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. The run needs to be our first point of action. And I think that, Vic Fangio, like I said before, I think that this, and I don't mean this to sound, obnoxious or dramatic or anything, but I think this week needs to be make or break. I think if we don't see at least a little bit of improvement, then we're cooked. We're cooked.
They're going up against a tough Saints offensive line. I'm not look. This offense has the talent enough to carry a team. Kellen Moore's been a part of offenses with the Cowboys that were number one in scoring offenses. All they need to do is be a top scoring offense to supplant this mediocre defense, and they'll make the playoffs that way. So I don't want to say they're cooked because once AJ bounce back, it's going to be a huge difference. I think we all know that. But I just think this offense is going to have to be the heart and soul of this team this year and carry this defense. And if they're not doing that, then they're not going to win games. They're not going to win that set game that they're in if the offense isn't producing.
Moving on to our game previews. Um, I know you always lead this segment, so I'll let you get started. But I know we got a pretty good lineup coming up this week. And then next week we got Tampa flying out Monday. You guys are listening to this Friday. I'll fly out on Monday. So make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Gio the Podcaster, to stay up to date on my updates while I'm in Florida.
Yeah,
Have to do a little,
catch us in Tampa too, because we're gonna be there. So
you know.
Eagles fans see us in Tampa. But real quick before we get into the games, your boy Gardner Minshew's killing it for the Raiders, and I don't know why. I like it though. I've seen like, your Instagram has been going substantially, and a lot of NFL fans ask you questions on there, but you've been getting a ton of Raiders questions. But people ask you to
Yeah.
talk about the Raiders. You saw Gardner Minshew up close last year with the Colts. You saw what he was able to do with the Colts when he took over for Anthony Richardson. He actually surprisingly led them to the playoffs. Played fairly well too as well. But now he's with the Raiders, and he just had a major upset over the Baltimore Ravens. And he played, I mean, other than the turnover, he played incredibly well, and he's one of the league leaders in passing. I wonder what your thoughts on the Raiders are with Gardner.
Yeah. So Gardner obviously coming from a kind of banged up Indianapolis Colts, banged up offense without Anthony Richardson, banged up offense. It seemed like when he came in, it was a hard time for him to come in, and I feel like that's been the case for a lot of times that Gardner's had to come in. I mean, for the Eagles, for everything like that, it's difficult. And I think that he found a team that he's around. He's around good guys. He's around talented guys. I mean, the Colts, let's just be honest. The Colts don't have a Max Crosby. The Eagles don't have a Max Crosby. So when you're going out to dinner with guys like Max Crosby and being a sponge and soaking up all that knowledge and getting everything like that, it's hard to fail. And just the Raiders culture and everything they're about is so fantastic. So I think he's in a really good spot. I think this could be the turning point for Gardner. We've seen it with Baker Mayfield, how everyone was down and out about Baker, and then he kind of turned it around. So can Gardner Minshew be the next Baker Mayfield?
He reminds you of the little engine that could, because he's just making things. I mean, he was solid with the Jaguars when he first started out with them. He just wasn't, what they deemed a franchise quarterback, especially since they had the opportunity to take Trevor Lawrence, who was deemed a theme on him at the time. But he goes to the Eagles, he wasn't amazing there when he had to fill in for Jalen Hurts, but he did enough. And then he goes to the Colts and obviously did way more. Now he goes to the Raiders, and he kind of reminds me of like Trent Dilfer. I know that that was kind of before your time when Trent Dilfer played, but Trent Dilfer wasn't an amazing quarterback. He wasn't, one of the quarterbacks you would say a franchise quarterback, but he was a winner. He won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. I know the defense carried him, but he still won the Super Bowl. He did his part. He won meaningful games with the Seahawks, and he won meaningful games with the Browns and all the other places he stopped at. So he was a journeyman quarterback that won games. Gardner's probably going to be the same. And not only that, I don't think the Raiders wanted Gardner to be the starter. He earned it. I think they wanted the guy that they drafted, Aiden O'Connell, to prove them something in training camp this year in that quarterback battle to say, hey, we invested a draft pick in you. You have a lot of upside because you're young. We want to bet on that upside. But Gardner just flat out outplayed him in the preseason and training camp where they just couldn't, they had to give him the starting job. So I think it just says a lot about Gardner Minshew. And yeah, the Raiders might be better than what we thought they were because of how he ends up playing. Because again, he's one of the league leaders in passing. So I don't think he's an amazing quarterback, but he's one that you can win with clearly. And the Colts did it last year, and the Raiders did it this weekend against the Ravens. So hats off to Gardner, bro.
Yeah, Gardner is the man.
All right, so the Jets are playing the Patriots right now, and the score is 14-3. They're about to kick a field goal, so it's about to be 17-3. That game's pretty much already done. Jets. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's not that far off, but probably the Jets are probably gonna win. So let's move on to the Giants at the Browns.
This game will not be on my television. This one will be definitely getting skipped for me. But I think it'll be
I'll catch
like,
some when they're in the red zone on red zone, but that's about
yeah,
it.
yeah. Um, I'll do 6 to 17 rounds.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. It's good. That's a good prediction. The Giants, they scored against the Washington. Not enough, obviously, as they lost, but they did, they looked way better than they did against the Vikings. But that Browns defense is very good. Jim Schwartz is, again, one of the top defensive coordinators of the league, and there's a reason why he has a Super Bowl ring on his finger. They just need Deshaun Watson to be a game manager. That's what he was last week. Especially against this Giants team that's just not really generating enough pass rush yet. Brian Burns hasn't really lived up to the expectations, and Kayvon Thibodeau's kind of a missing person right now. So yeah, I got the Browns winning 20 to 10.
All
Uh
right, I like it.
Bears at Colts. Colts are struggling,
Uh,
man.
I think Caleb Williams struggling too. It's gonna
Yeah.
be, you
No
know,
DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner's on the IR now.
I'll be honest. Last week when I said, this game should be a game for the Colts to get some extra reps in and get some extra practice, get back on track. They did exactly the opposite of what I told them to do. So, I'm gonna take the Bears winning this one. Just solely off of that. I think the Bears are gonna start getting back on track. Caleb Williams is going to start finding his groove here. And I just think, like we talked about before, the Bears just need to give him time. So I think this one will be pretty close. So I'm going to take it 23-21.
I know you like Shane Steichen, and I know Eagles fans are dying to have him back, but he's been doing some boneheaded things. He's part of the reason why they're 0-2 right now, especially with the no fourth quarter carries for Jonathan Taylor was against the Packers in a very close game. It was absolutely insane in my opinion, but they're very banged up on defense right now. Very, very, very banged up. So I got the Bears winning 16 to 10. I think Caleb has a bounce back week. Again, Matt Pryor starting for them on the offensive line. Tevin Jenkins is out. It's a good opportunity for like the young edge rusher that the young edge rushers that the Colts have in Quiddy Pay and Latu. But
Yeah.
I don't see the Colts
Latu did
winning
his
this.
thing last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't see the Colts winning this game though either. I think especially with the Bears Bears have some good pass rush.
Yeah.
I think the Bears win 16 to 10. All right. This is a really good game actually. 2-0 versus 2-0. Texans at Vikings.
Okay.
Vi Vikings defense has been playing lights out lately.
You know who I'm going to take here, though?
Hmm.
I'm going to take the Texans.
Yeah, me too.
So, just CJ Stroud camped out against them. First and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. CJ Stroud's got this one in the bag. I'm gonna say 28-21.
I just say what a joke from the NFL media that they're making such a big deal and story out of him talking to Caleb Williams last week.
Yeah.
Like, absolute joke. You guys must be bored and the views must be way down. Uh, we slept on the Vikings. We
Yeah,
slept
we
on the
did.
Vikings. Sam Darnold, Kevin O'Connell might be a quarterback whisperer. I'm not gonna lie. Sam Darnold looks like the quarterback that everybody thought he was gonna be when he got drafted finally, and it took years for it to happen. He might be having his Geno Smith type. And I like what Brian Flores is doing with their defense. It's actually very inspiring football. But I like what the Texans are doing with their defense. They have Daniel Hunter as a pass rusher, who they added, who used to play for Minnesota. They like swapped pass rushers this offseason because Jonathan Greener used to be a Texan and he's on the Vikings now. But Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson, I think right now, this year is the best edge rushing duo in the league. They have a very young but incredibly talented secondary. Their rookie last runners playing insane football, and Derek Stingley Jr. is a really great corner as well. And Jalen Pitre is a great, great safety, a young safety for them as well. Uh, and the Shees, their linebacker, is doing amazing football, amazing as well, especially pressuring the quarterback. I really like what D'Amico Ryans is doing with his Texans team. I think they're a great, solid team. And
Yeah,
Bobby Slowick, too, their offensive coordinator. He's going to get a head coaching job this offseason for sure. I do like the Texans in this game as well. I think they win 23-21.
I like it.
Eagles at Saints.
I I'll take the Eagles here, but I don't know. I don't think the Eagles are gonna win this one, but I'll be optimistic. I think the Eagles, if they do pull it off, it's gonna be a close one. So I think it'll be like a 30, 31, 28 type of game if the Eagles win.
Looking like another week of no AJ Brown, and this team is just completely different on offense without AJ Brown. It's kind of sad that they're so reliant on one player the way they are. To be truthful with you, this is the type of game that nobody expects the Eagles to win, so that they win it. And they'll
Yep.
come out against Tampa and just drop the ball. That's just on par to how this Nick Sirianni tenure has been going the last 2 years. It is a winnable game for them. Saints defense is for real. Their offensive line is for real, especially with this minimal pass rush that the Eagles are already getting as is. But like I said, it'd be very on par for the Eagles to win this game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won it 24-21. The doom and gloom that we've been having with this team too. It's crazy that we're even saying this right now, but
Yeah.
like I said, this is the type of game that they would surprisingly win. Another 2-0 versus 2-0. This is an interesting game. I'm wondering what your thoughts are. Chargers at Steelers.
Um,
Justin Herbert's very
oof.
banged up right now.
I'll take the Steelers in this one. I just think they've been doing incredible things. So I'll take the Steelers. They definitely flipped the script. I did not think that the Steelers were going to be good going into this season. I know I talked about it on here multiple times that I did not think the Steelers were going to be good going into this season. But hey, crazier things have happened. So I think that the Steelers are going to go 3-0 after this one and yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. So I think 28-17 Steelers.
Something about that's Mike Tomlin led teams that can just, since Big Ben retired, even before Big Ben retired, the last 2 years he was with them was he was on the very sharp decline. Something about Mike Tomlin led teams can win despite what the quarterback does. They ask very bare minimum of the quarterback, and Justin Fields only thrown for 278 yards through 2 games this year so far and 1 touchdown. So it's not like they're asking him to do much. They're just asking him to manage the game with his athletic ability too as well because he can run the ball very well. So I like the Steelers too. I like their defense a lot, and I think this is the Chargers is still like kind of a brand new team. They're trying to get in rhythm under Jim Harbaugh. They got a lot of young players they're leaning on. Their wide receiver room is completely unheralded, and they're leaning on young guys there too as well to step up for the absence of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Quentin Johnson had a great game versus Carolina, so hopefully they could string that together going further. But I got the Steelers winning this one too. I think it's gonna be 16-9. No, no, no,
That's
no, no.
crazy.
I'm changing that. I'm changing that. 16-14 because J.K. Dobbins has been doing his thing for the Chargers so far. Justin Herbert's very very hurt though. He might not
Guys,
play.
intrusive thoughts almost won.
Yeah, I mean he might not even play. If he doesn't play, then they have Taylor Heineke as their backup, so I don't
Yeah.
think they would
Oh
do much
yeah,
with him.
no. Yeah.
But he'll probably play, but again, his ankle looks like it's really messed up. It was heavily taped at practice all week, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
All right, Broncos at Buccaneers. That's easy. Buccaneers. I'm just gonna get that out of the way
Yep.
real quick. Buccaneers
Yep.
35-6.
I do think for this Broncos team, it's so good to play a team like the Buccaneers. There's no team like them in the league. And I think it's gonna give a guy like Bo Nix some oh crap, I'm in the NFL. So maybe that's the start that he needs to be good in this league. I know that I'm a Bo Nix face haver and you are not.
No,
I think the Buccaneers win this one though. Like I think it's gonna be like dirty. I think it's gonna be like a 31-6 game.
it's way too early to call a spade, but that interception that he threw in the end zone against the Steelers was brutal.
Yep.
Packers at Titans. Jordan Love is questionable for this game. He might come back. He might
Yep.
come back for this game. If not, though, do you believe in a week Malik Willis revenge game, or is this when the Titans finally get their first win?
I don't see anything in the Titans, to be honest with you. It's rough. I'll take the Packers here, even if Malik Willis is playing. I know last week I said he's a joke. And the Colts just completely burned me there, so I'll never be saying anything like that again. Thank you,
I can't diss
Colts.
Malik Willis like that because I just remember the combine he was giving out. He found a homeless man and like went up to him and just gave him a bunch of food and stuff. So he's really a good guy, but
Yeah.
I think the Titans are gonna win this game. If the contingency is if he plays. But even if he doesn't play, Jordan Love's not gonna be 100%. They'd be rushing him back like crazy if you ask me.
Yeah.
Um,
If Jordan Love comes back, he's gonna get re-injured and be out for the rest of the season, in my opinion.
I mean Jeffrey Simmons, that defense isn't bad. It's bad against the run, but it's not really bad against rushing the passer. I think and the Titans know Malik Willis best. They know him better than the Packers
Yep.
know him so far because they just got him a
Yep.
couple weeks ago. So I got the Titans winning. I got the Titans winning 21-13. Panthers at Raiders.
Raiders. Raiders
Andy
gonna win this
Dalton's
one.
Andy Dalton's starting for the Panthers now.
I do think it is really, 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 really crazy to uh bench Bryce Young instead of try and build around him. Especially in this Panthers offense where you really have nothing to lose. I do think that that's kind of wild, and me as a head coach, I'm not ever doing that, especially not for Andy Dalton. Um, but I got
Um,
the Raiders winning this one, 31-13.
24-21 Raiders. I think the Panthers will be better underneath Andy Dalton, but yeah, it's you on what you if I mean you vested it first of all picking Bryce Young. I know he's been playing terrible football, but he just got with this coach. He's gone through three coaches already. He went through Frank Reich, an interim coach, and Steve Wilkes, and then now it wasn't Steve Wilkes, sorry. Who was there? I forget who their interim coach was last year, but it was an interim coach. Now he's got Dave Canales, and it was just too early to pull the plug. Let the kid get his lumps in. But yeah, I
Yeah.
got the Raiders winning 24-21. All right. Dolphins at Seahawks. No Tua.
Uh,
No Tua, so as we all remember.
I'll take the Seahawks here. I'll
Yeah,
take the
Seahawks easily.
Seahawks. Yeah, matter of fact, I think Gino's gonna have a game. I was actually looking at my fantasy today and wondering if I should start him. Um, Honestly, I think Gino may have a game this week. Just because of not having Tua. I think this offense isn't gonna be the same. So I think Gino's gonna have a game. I think they're gonna win. I'm gonna give it to him. I'll say 34-21.
Yeah, I got 31 to 17 Seahawks. Lions at Cardinals. 1-1 versus 1-1. That's a good game.
I'll take the Lions here because I think they need to get back. The Cardinals have been surprising me so far. I'm not gonna lie. After last year, no signs of light. This year, they're a different team. I don't think I can't have the Cardinals winning this one. I'm gonna take the Lions 23-17.
I got 26 to 24 Lions. Lions win this one in my opinion too. I think they're just
Yep.
better overall team on paper.
Yep.
Ravens at Cowboys. I got the Ravens winning 21 to 20.
I got the Ravens winning this one. 27-27. Let's be reckless here. 28-27.
Cowboys can't stop the run, man. I don't. Derrick Henry's in for a good day, especially since he's pissed that the Cowboys didn't sign him. And he's from Dallas, and I mean Lamar's gonna run him as well. 49ers at Rams. I got 49ers winning.
49ers,
Yeah,
100%.
I got 49ers winning 34-9.
Yep. I'll honestly I'll have the same prediction because yeah, I actually like that one.
Chiefs at Falcons. Sunday night.
Uh Chiefs are gonna humble the Falcons after last week. I need the Chiefs to just dominate the Falcons. So honestly, after last week, after what we endured, I'm gonna crash out here and say the Chiefs are gonna win 34-6.
Wow. I got them winning 31 and 21. Chiefs.
Yeah, no, I need the Chiefs to be so disrespectful to them.
All right, two Monday Night Football games.
All right.
Jaguars at Bills.
Yep. Got that
Bills.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bills.
Bills 20 to 10.
Josh Allen has been putting the
20 to
haters
13, 2013. Sorry. But yeah, go ahead.
Josh Allen's been putting the haters to rest. I mean, everyone's saying Josh Allen's a bust. He can't get back past a certain period
He's top five quarterback in the
in the
NFL.
season. Yeah, come on, people.
The
It's
talent's
just
just insane.
it's a matter of time before this guy gets to a Super Bowl, to be honest. I think I'll have this one 27-20. I'll be watching that one in the airport. Not not
Yeah.
gonna
No,
watch the other
you'll
one.
be here by then. That's 7:30 at night.
I fly into Orlando at midnight.
Oh, you'll be on the plane, bro.
Yeah,
Nah, that's like what is a 2 hour flight for you? So yeah, never mind. No, you won't.
yeah,
All right. Yeah, you'll be watching at the airport. You're right. All right. So Commanders at Bengals. Yeah, you want to be here for this.
yeah. Oh, I don't even want to watch this one.
I like Jaden Daniels. Yo, so okay, actually, you've actually have gotten a couple questions from people, Commanders fans asking you what you think about Jaden
Yeah,
Daniels. I mean, I think he's impressive. I've always been a fan of him. I know that I've always said ever since they made the draft pick, they got the right guy. I would have picked
yeah,
him. I would have picked
yeah.
him
No, I
over
would have picked
Drake
him
May.
too. I think he's great.
Yeah. No turnovers yet. Almost had a turnover, but Zach Ertz wrestled the ball away from the guy.
Yeah, and that's just what you're gonna have a guy like Zach Ertz do. So I think honestly, like I said before when we talked about him, being around guys like Zach Ertz and veterans, it's gonna do him well, and it has so far. So I think that he could be the turning point for the Commanders, if they just
100%.
give him time. He's another guy who needs time. So,
Well, I got the
um,
Bengals winning 24-17.
yep, I got the Bengals winning this one too. I was gonna say 24-21, so
Nice.
pretty close there.
All right. Well, that's all
That,
the games.
yeah, that's that's it. What a great episode. Great second week going into third week of the NFL. I just hope the Eagles can get back on track, man. We need we need a good game from the Eagles here.
Nick Sirianni needs it for his job.
Yeah. I don't see the Eagles moving on from Nick Sirianni. I see the fan base already moved on from Nick Sirianni, but
If things go the way they went last year, there's no way he survives.
I agree. I can agree with
It's too
that.
early to tell, like you're saying, though. I do hear you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the questions in his comments because you're giving us content to talk about. I really appreciate you guys
Yes,
too as well.
sir. Appreciate y'all.